Hey, this is Richard with Hip Hop Robot, and for today's review, we've got the Toys R Us exclusive Evolutions Grimlock for the Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. So, real quick, I'm not going to show off the packaging because the packaging is pretty much like all the other Transformers 4 packaging now. But we'll start off by looking at the movie Grimlock. This Grimlock is pretty much, as far as the toy itself, the Voyager version that's been released recently with a slightly different paint job. So instead of the chest having a lot of brown, copper, whatever it's supposed to be, it's black. The face is black. There's a bit more silver highlighting, more gray, like with the skirt and on top of the dinosaur head. So it's kind of interesting that I think overall this is probably the better Grimlock for the Voyager size for the movie. With the actual movie version still having a quite different color, I think this one's got a lot better contrast, and there's more black and gray, which would kind of sync or kind of look a little bit better with what the movie Grimlock was supposed to represent. But other than that, it's the same Voyager, same figure. Moving on to the what they call the G1 Grimlock. This is actually a Transformers Energon toy. The paint job is quite a bit different. So they try to make him a little bit more G1 like. These stripe patterns, the colors here, the red hips, the white squares on the thighs, all meant to kind of sync up with the original G1 toy a little bit more. Some other differences are that there's a bit more gray on this version versus the Energon one. The yellow is darker, more of a yellowishy orange, where the Energon version had more of a pale yellow color. So this actually ends up being kind of a better version of that figure. If you never had this figure from Energon, this is definitely the better version. Another thing is that Energon version did not come with this sword, and this is actually a G1 Predacon sword for Razor Claw. I guess the main thing is they used it here because it fit Grimlock and they just painted it red, which I think is still cool. And the fact that the original Energon toy didn't come with a weapon, even better. So you get this version, you get kind of like this G1 style that you can kind of call a G1 Grimlock, and you get a weapon with him. Comparing him to the actual G1 Grimlock, which I know it would have been nice for them to actually have re-released these, but the story is that the G1 Dinobots, the molds for them are damaged or worn out, so that's why you haven't seen any reissues of these. But kind of comparing it to the original Grimlock, you can tell that when they made this Energon version, they meant to make it a homage to the original one. So as you can see, there's a lot of similar design elements. So it's actually a pretty good reference for a G1 Grimlock. Definitely a little bit simpler, but still a decent version for G1 Grimlock. So the original Energon Grimlock toy had this gimmick, which is still present in this version, where he combined with a Energon swoop figure. And as you can see, those pieces, I'll just kind of peg this in real quick. Are still there. And you would split this open, a little bit more to the transformation process, but you'd split that open, sit him on top of swoop, which would be the legs for the figure, and you'd have that. What's disappointing is that there doesn't seem to be any plans to re-release the swoop version of this guy, of the original Energon pack. So that's kind of disappointing. It would have been nice to be able to own a version of that as well with a more G1 style paint job. But nevertheless, this is still, in my opinion, a pretty cool figure. And just put him in dinosaur mode real quick so you guys can see what that looks like. There's your dinosaur mode. Again, some big differences with the paint apps versus the original Energon. And overall, I still think it's a pretty cool character. It is kind of weird that they chose this, but knowing that they couldn't re-release the actual original G1 Grimlock, I think it ends up making it a pretty cool toy. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and we'll have some more reviews coming up on Hip Hop Robot.